What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaez Pearson, and this is the Outlet Forum with my esteemed co-host Chris Camello. What up, Chris?
The Yankees lose, and the Dodgers followed suit.
You're funny, but not so funny about that, pal. Yes, the Yankees lose and are eliminated from postseason action. The Dodgers played like they had an extra game in their pocket, which they did. They got two. They go down to the Phillies 8-2, and the Lakers are back in business. They start preseason and NFL week 5 going into week 6. We'll talk about some of the most embarrassing moments since there were so many, and we got your picks for week 6 if you like to make a little extra cheddar on the side. But Chris, nothing. We debated, we talked about it back and forth off air before the show. Should we lead with the Dodgers? And we have to. We just have to, because at this point, the Dodgers do not take care of business. They had a golden opportunity at home, and they played exactly like you didn't want them to play. They go down 8-2 to the Phillies at home, while the Phillies were wearing their pretty nice powder blues, I will add. I thought that they would go down to Yamamoto, but Yamamoto did not have his best stuff tonight. Probably his worst outing in probably a few months. I haven't seen him get knocked around like he did since like July or August, maybe even June, to be honest with you. But Kershaw is the story tonight, in my opinion. Yes, Yamamoto didn't have it, but pulling a starter, putting him in the bullpen to piggyback off a starter to get through some innings. I saw on Twitter somebody posted, hey, they've just sent out Kershaw on a suicide mission tonight. What did you make of the win, and ultimately, who do you have tomorrow night in Game 4?
Well, you got to give the Phillies some credit. Before we get into what the Dodgers did wrong, let's look at what the Phillies did right. What was the common theme for the Phillies through the first 2 games? The top of the order was not hitting. Including his first at-bat tonight, Kyle Schwarber was 0 for his last 21 postseason at-bats, dating back to last year's divisional round against the New York Mets. Bryce Harper had not come through in big spots, and even though Trey Turner had an RBI in Game 2, he had not really done much either. So those 3 got going tonight. Give the credit where it's due. They maximized their opportunities. They were struggling a little bit early on Yamamoto, and then they got into it. And Kyle Schwarber's massive home run, reminiscent of the 2008 NLCS when Matt Stairs hit one off Jonathan Broxton. I mean, I literally had PTSD and a flashback there when he hit that into the almost to the 110 freeway. That changed the game. Yes, it only tied the game, but it changed the game. It changed the game. And I think Yamamoto got a little bit rattled after that, started giving up more base hits. The contact was a little harder, a little louder, and unfortunately the wheels kind of came undone for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who up until that point had been great. I mean, he'll likely be a finalist for Cy Young Award this year, but Chaz, the night belonged to the Phillies. And worse than that was the fact that after a scoreless inning in the 7th, Kershaw trots back out there in the 8th, and you're thinking, okay, let's see what he does against the heart of that order. And they completely demolished him. Real Muto, a big home run, a 2-run single by Trey, and then Schwarber caps it off with a 2-run homer that just had enough to get over the right field wall. So the night belonged to the Phillies. Ranger Suarez was outstanding, shut down the Dodger offense, and Phillies played like a team that needed to keep their season alive, and that's exactly what they did tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. And ultimately, you got to give them credit. I give Schwarber all the credit. Bryce Harper having some really tough at-bats, but Kyle Schwarber coming through, even though he had Sasaki making him look pretty crazy in those first, I think it was Game 2 it was, and in Game 1 he really couldn't get anything going. And it comes to Dodger Stadium, again, like I said, in those nice powder blues, and hits 2 jacks off the Dodgers, and astounding.
6-1 in those jerseys, by the way.
Astounding fashion. Yeah, that 455 home run was, I think, a foot further than Ohtani's home run in Game 1 of the wild card against the Reds. So 2 monster home runs in Dodger Stadium. But you gotta give him credit. You gotta give Thompson credit for the way that he managed his squad in a must-win. That's how you manage a must-win game. He did great, especially when you have somebody like Suarez going the way that he did. So
he's an all-star. I mean,
yeah, it was great. He pitched well, and I just love the fact that it wasn't a sweep. We knew it was going to be tough. Now let's see if the Dodgers can respond in a major way. I'm a little shaky with Glasnow on the mound. I will say that. I didn't really like how he pitched out of the bullpen particularly, but he has that adrenaline, like he said, and we'll see if that really comes into play when he goes out on the mound tomorrow night.
For sure. And, you know, obviously the 8th inning has been the bane of the Dodgers' existence, even though up until tonight, they were 4-0 in the playoffs. That 8th inning has been a massive roller coaster ride. Even in the wild card series against the Reds, that's where they were giving up runs, 2-3 runs in an inning. And, you know, even though they escaped the jam in game 1 in the 8th inning, they were able to, you know, they still loaded the bases. And even Emmett Sheehan gave up a run, I think, in the 8th. So there's something about that 8th inning that has just been a problem for Dodger relievers or Dodger starters. But, you know, here's the concern I have. And maybe it's not a big concern, but when you wake up a sleepy offense, now, especially one like the Phillies that can hit you in droves, and granted, their postseason record the last couple of years is what it is, that's what kind of concerns me. You know, and tonight was a total team effort for the Phillies. It wasn't just Schwarber with the 2 home runs. It wasn't just a 3-hit game for Trey Turner. Like you said, Bryce got going. Real Muto's been solid. Bohm was good. And also, too, the balance of the lineup that they had with Castellanos and Stott going 8-9, I thought it really gave them a little bit more length in that lineup. So, you know, you mentioned Rob Thompson. He was good. The thing is, everyone's going to mash on Dave Roberts, you know, oh, well, you know, why did you throw Kershaw back out there? Look, listen, we said that because of the lack of trust you have with your relievers, you're going to need starters to come out of the pen. Not only come out of the pen. Oh, boy. I hope everything's all right with my co-host over there. Not only come out of the pen, but give you multiple innings out of it, whether it be Glasnow or Sheehan or Kershaw or whoever. You're going to need multiple innings out of those guys, you know, especially if your starters are not able to go particularly deep because of the struggles of Treinen and Vesia and Tanner Scott and all these other guys. And like I told you offline, Chaz, tonight was a night to get Tanner Scott out there. You saw Bonda go out there. You saw Dreyer get out there. You know, yeah, Treinen had a scoreless 9th inning, which is great. Rebounded from a tough performance in game 2. But tonight was a night to get that dude out there. I mean, if you're going to have these guys on your postseason roster, you have to have them see the ball go through the hoop, you know, to throw a hoops reference at you right there. You need to see a layup. You need to see a free throw, just something to get your confidence going. I think tonight would have been the night, especially in an 8-1 game. Throw him out there in the 9th inning, because you got to see what these guys are capable of doing at this point, and if they have any confidence.
Yeah. I agree with all that. I just can't get over the fact that nobody did anything of significance other than Tommy Edman. Tommy Tanks came through in a big way, but guys like Muncy, guys like Paez, who was raking all year, should have been an all-star, hasn't been able to do much of anything this postseason. Miggy Rowe, I understand that you wanted to get his experience out there, but he couldn't get anything going, even though he's been on an upswing of late. So this Dodger team really needs to dig deep, because I believe if they have to go back to Philadelphia, it's over. You're not going to win 3 games in Philadelphia to win this series. You have to win game 4, and Dave Roberts has to manage like Thompson did, throw everything in the kitchen sink, because in game 5, at least you'll have Ohtani in game 1, or Snell, even if you really want, or I should say Snell, not Ohtani. Or actually, no, Ohtani in game 5 is who you would throw if you
handle your business.
So
yeah,
don't play with
handle your business. You're right. No, don't play with your food. And they had opportunities to get to Nola early tonight, and they didn't. Mookie had the triple early on with one out, and then Teo and Freddie not able to get him through. And I thought that was big right there. I even said, jump on Nola early. They're going to try to get to Yamamoto early, and they almost did. Eventually, they got to him in the fourth inning. But your inability to get on Aaron Nola, and then Ranger Suarez, after that home run to Edman, he was untouchable, and every time he got guys on base, he was able to quickly get out of the jam, with the ground ball here or a fly out. So nicely done
Suarez
tonight.
is
So
what I
tough
thought
loss.
Yamamoto was going to be tonight. Suarez was exactly
Yeah.
what I thought Yamamoto was going to be tonight. So he never
But
settled
Chaz,
in,
it was
and he just base hit after base hit.
exactly. And honestly, the Phillies followed an overall theme today. A lot of teams avoided elimination. Shout out to the Tigers, erased the 3-0 deficit at home to the Mariners, came back and won 9-3. They exploded offensively late. You saw the Cubs jump on Quinn Priester early, and that would be all that they would need. They would survive the Brewers and avoid the sweep at home. The Phillies, what they did tonight. So, a lot of teams avoided elimination. So we are not going to see a single sweep in the East divisional round. Although one team did go home, Chaz. You want to talk about them real quick?
The Yankees lose. I love it. I love the fact that Vladdy did that on live air with A-Rod and Derek Jeter watching, saying that taunting the Yankees right in front of their faces. I love it. Sucks for the Yankees. Sucks for Aaron Judge to not come up big off that big 3-run bomb to tie Game 3 and force that Game 4, which that swing will be probably immediately forgotten since they lost the next night. So just sucks. And I don't want Aaron Boone to lose his job, but he's going to be out of there. And the guy who really probably should lose his job ultimately, who's been the consistent failure for almost 20 years, is Cashman. That's who really should be looked at more than anything. But I could care less about the Yankee franchise. There's always next year. The Yankees lose.
And you know what? Let me just say this before we move on. This was not on Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was fantastic in going back to the wild card round against Boston. I thought the Yankees bullpen was outstanding yesterday. Unfortunately, the Jays, I just think, are a better they're just a better team. That's really what it came down to. And sometimes that happens. And you remember, Chaz, these are 5-game series. You don't have a ton of time. And sometimes you could survive it and sometimes you can't. And the Yankees, the way they played this series this season was just so up and down. And sometimes that comes back to bite you. Sometimes you can catch lightning in a bottle and erase what happened during the regular season. Lord knows there's dozens of examples through the years. We've seen teams do that, but it just wasn't. It wasn't there. It wasn't for them this year. I don't know what it was. And when your bullpen struggles, your starters struggle, it gets you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Breaking news: Dave Roberts said that Tanner Scott wasn't even at the ballpark tonight for personal reasons. So,
oh geez, okay.
Take that.
Well, hopefully
take
everything's okay.
With you as
okay.
We don't know.
Okay, you're saying take that. Yeah.
No. Take that for.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it to show you up. Like, I'm just saying I agree with you. Tanner Scott should have thrown there instead of Treinen, but he wasn't even at the ballpark, which just came up on my timeline 30 seconds ago. So just wanted to update you guys in real time. Moving on from this terrible loss, maybe by next week we'll talk about, I don't know, Game 2 of the NLCS. I don't know. We'll see. But moving on,
we'll see.
Getting away from baseball, there is preseason basketball going on. And the sports equinox is starting to take full shape. You got playoff baseball. You got preseason basketball. You got the heart of the NFL season. You got college baseball. College basketball. College football, damn it. WNBA basketball. I mean, you got pretty much every sport going on right now. I love it. Sports equinox. But the Lakers, they come out 0-2. Luka LeBron not playing at all.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart hasn't played either. Just really got his first consistent practices in this week. Vando looking pretty good. I'm giving away a few names that have impressed so far to my direct question. But outside of who I've mentioned already, Chris, what are some of your takeaways of this team And who's impressed with you so far?
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, Lakers usually make getting their asses kicked in preseason an art form. I mean, that's what they've consistently done, and I get it. Preseason doesn't matter; everyone's just trying to get their reps in. You're trying to see who what you have, and but it's just like Dalton Connect is what 1 for 12 the other night. I know there was a negative story about him put out there by Dan Wyke
I
of The
thought that was
Athletic.
Bronny that was 1 for 12.
Oh, I'm sorry, but still, Connect has not played well. He has not shot well through the first couple of games, and yeah, Bronny I think
neither of
went
the
1 for
rookies
12.
from
I
last
think
year
they were
have.
6.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, Jake LaRavia has not impressed thus far either. I thought Ayton looked pretty good, looked better offensively in the second game against Golden State than he did in the first one. I thought Gabe Vincent looked good in the second game. And yeah,
16 points.
Vando to me, and I know you were saying, I think, yeah, he looked really good. I think the issue with Vando was the health the last couple of years. And I know you were saying, well, should we get rid of him? Well, here's the thing. He's under contract for 3 more years, Chaez, at $36 million. Not exactly a high price contract, obviously, but still 3 more years. You might as well see this process through. And as well as I do, when Vando is healthy, he's able to be a disruptor on the defensive end. He could rebound. He could defend multiple positions. And I think he's also trying to prove something this year. It's a hold my beer. Let me remind you guys why you re-signed me, why you traded for me, and what I'm capable of doing. The fact of the matter is we really won't know, and Austin Reeves has looked good too. We really won't know what this team will look like until Luka and LeBron get back out there. And so far, they haven't been out there at all. And even DeAndre Ayton said, when they asked what's it like, practicing with Luka and LeBron, he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So Luka's coming off Eurobasket. LeBron is about to be 41 in a couple of months. So I get it. And dealing with an irritation in his glute, I get it. But at the same point in time, that's no excuse for these guys to go out there and just consistently get their asses kicked. And the one guy I want to see step up a little more is LaRavia. He has not looked good to me these first couple of games. But
the crazy part is that
next to Luke and LeBron.
The crazy part is from all the reporters, from JJ Redick, and even from the other guys on the team, LaRavia has impressed the most in practice. It's just these 2 games, he just had a bad weekend. So we'll see. We'll see coming up next week when the Lakers play their next preseason game. You would like to think that LeBron and Luka will at least get some work in, given that there's 6 new guys on this team that weren't on the team before. So you want to get some work in. You want to get some continuity with the core group that you're going to have out there mostly. I'm just happy that the Lakers have a big man who's going to patrol the paint, because DeAndre Ayton has impressed me the most, because he's filling a role that the Lakers didn't have filled for, I'd say, about 3 months or so after trading Anthony Davis. And it was short-lived, but it was just the most glaring thing ever, especially on a team that had such great perimeter play in Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves. So I'm looking forward to see what this team looks like healthy and whole, but it really is going to cost people a pretty penny coming up into the new year and going into the end of the season, because LeBron has teased a new Hennessy ad. And the day before, we thought that he was going to possibly announce his retirement, but I'll be honest, Chris, I never thought that he was really going to do that. I thought it was possible, definitely, but once I found out it was Prime Day the next day, which it was, even though it's not a Prime ad, which he did last year, LeBron caught some flack because ticket prices on the secondary market went up over $500 specifically for his last game that they thought it might be against the Utah Jazz regular season game at home for next year in 2026. Chris, what did you make of LeBron teasing this new ad with the decision part 2 just to sell some Hennessy?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I figured the decision too, he duped everybody. And this was like the Blaze Pizza thing all over again. I was like, there's no way that he's going to announce a retirement in that fashion. I'm like, this has got to be a hoax, an ad campaign or something. I thought it was Amazon again, but I didn't think it was going to be a retirement thing. I figured, if there's going to be a retirement announcement, it would have been a little bit more formal than that. But you know what? Who I do think is a complete clown is the guy who spent $800 on 4 tickets for the last regular season home game in April.
Was it each?
And now
is
is trying to sue LeBron and the
total?
Lakers. I think it was 800 total.
Okay.
I think it was 800 total. Yeah.
It's bad for $200.
Yeah.
a piece.
So I mean, I'm just saying you're going to spend what you know how much lawyer fees are, dude? I'm just saying you're going to spend that much on a lawyer, and what are you going to get out of it? Maybe your money back, maybe free tickets for another game or something like that. And that's it.
No.
So is it really worth the trouble? Look,
there's definitely some fine print on the secondary market that says otherwise.
For sure. LeBron James is obviously a multi-billionaire. He's done a lot of these ad campaigns and whatnot. We're seeing that a lot more often now. The commercials he's doing with Kevin Hart. He's been a pitch man for Amazon, Ruffles, Nike. It's what it is. He's a businessman. So yeah, it was a little silly. It was a little dumb and everything. I know Stephen A went off on him in First Take. At this point, the only thing that is just kind of, annoying about it is the fact that it gives more people ammunition to be like, this is why we don't like you. This kind of hokey stuff right here. Whether you think that's justified or not, Chaez, as well as I do, there is a faction of Laker fans, and this is just more fuel to that fire of them saying, this is why we don't like you. We respect you as a basketball player, but we don't like you personally, and it's crap like this. That's what it is. That's the only takeaway I have from it. But outside of that, go out and get a
VSLP. I have 2 takeaways. One of which is, God damn, that check must have been huge from Hennessy in order for LeBron to poke fun at a moment in his career that made him at one point the most disliked player in the league because of the way in which he announced how he was going to take his talents to South Beach. I thought it was intriguing that he poked fun at it and that he matured so far past it to where he can accept money to just fan those flames one more time for the people that it's still sensitive to, even though he won a championship for those same people that was primarily mad at him for leaving Cleveland the first time. But it's like they're not over it. And to be honest, Chris, the people, people that are not in Cleveland that bitch about the decision because he made amends with those people. It's the people that don't like LeBron already before the decision was made and then have even more of a reason now to dislike him or whatever the case may be. Look, I'm going to say this. If you dislike LeBron over this Hennessy ad, you already dislike LeBron for a number of other reasons. So it's what I'm saying. It's par for the course. It doesn't really matter. He could give a fuck what those people think. And I know that to you, maybe he should or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But at the end of the day, that check must have been crazy. So that's my only take on it. I knew he wasn't going to retire. And I do think that LeBron does come back depending on how he looks. If he's still an all-NBA player, he's going to continue to play. He's not going to just retire as an all-NBA player. That's not going to happen. I believe he's going to play 1, maybe 2 more years. And then by the age of 42, Kevin Willis, you should be ready to get out of the league and call it quits.
Robert Parrish.
And right off into the sunset. Robert Parrish. Vince Carter.
Yeah, I mean, look, Vince Carter, Grant Hill, all these guys that played, deep into even Kobe, Kobe played 20 years and everything. And those last 4 years were, really tough because of the injuries and whatnot. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't care about this stuff. I got my own opinions about LeBron James. But you can't deny the fact that he's still playing at an elite level, and assuming he's healthy again this year, you could count on him to play anywhere from 65 to 70 games, and he's going to give you the 25, 8, and 8 at a reasonable clip. Still shoot the ball around 45, 46%. Still shoot 35, 36, 37% from downtown, and hopefully shoot 80+% at the free throw line. And as long as he's doing that, I think we'll take everything else at a glimpse. The only thing I'll say about him and Lucas sitting out as much as they have is the transition time and building the chemistry may take a little bit longer without you guys playing out there, but not even just playing preseason games, but not even practicing. I think that's a little bit of a red flag right now because I would like to see them, I think you said 6 new players, get out there, get some practices in, get some reps in, and then try to build some of that chemistry.
Yeah, Laravia, Smart, Ayton, Maxi Cleaver.
Well, yeah, this will be his first full season with the team. Oh, Adu Thiero from from Arkansas, right?
Shit, you might as well throw Vando in there as well because he barely played.
Nick Smith Jr.
A game or two. Yeah. So, we'll see how they do next week. We're gonna move on to a little bit of football though, Chris, and we're not here to talk about some of the great play from the Denver Broncos coming back against the Philadelphia Eagles, or a great game from the Colts over the Raiders, just absolutely blowing their doors off. And we're not even going to get into the New England great game in Buffalo to stamp the approval that they are here and here to stay in the AFC East. No. We are going to talk about the lowly Ravens and the terrible Cardinals because they had to have had some of the worst moments of the NFL season thus far, let alone last week. The Ravens get their doors blown off 44-10 at home against who, Chris?
The Houston Texans, a team that had been struggling to score points through the first 4 weeks.
And the Arizona Cardinals were up 21-6 over the Tennessee Titans.
21-3, actually.
Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Or 21-3. Ooh, excuse me.
Yeah.
And they come back after DeMarcado fumbles or drops the ball at the 1. Again, this is like 2 times in the last 3 weeks. Guys are just leaving the ball at the goal line. Chris, which team has more to be embarrassed about after this past week?
Well, let's see. Well, first of all, Arizona, I think they're coaching out of – do you remember the 4 Dummies books? Cooking for Dummies, Building for Dummies. They're coaching football for dummies. Ooh. That is a idiotic organization. A bunch of idiots from the top down. I mean, people who, I'm not sure what to think. And you know what, Chaez, and here's the thing. DeMarcado, that was a horrible play. It really was. Just lack of awareness. And the thing, though, about them that I don't like is their quarterback. Kyler Murray, to me, lacks a lot of things. But the one thing that really stands out to me, as skilled as he is,
leadership.
There's not a lot of passion there. And there's not a lot of leadership. There's not a lot of galvanizing. And this dude is getting awfully close to being phased out as a starting quarterback in this league. Not to say he'll be out of the league, but as a starting quarterback, he's awfully close because you can teach some of those other things. You can't teach the hard aspect of it. And that's the one thing that I'm kind of calling into question. So they're just a dumb franchise all the way around. Talented, but Ravens, that's just inexcusable what happened. I don't care if Cooper Rush was your starting quarterback. I know Lamar was out, but 44 points you give up on your home field to a Houston Texans team that is not good offensively, that is an embarrassment. And that embarrassment doesn't just fall on the Ravens defense. That falls on their defensive coordinator. I believe the guy's name is Orr or Moore or something like that. And John Harbaugh, who I'm a big fan of. Oh, definitely the Cardinals because they had that game won. They had that game won. And that was just pure idiocy.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Pure idiocy. No, as you should.
Too. Ravens are missing.
That was embarrassing, though.
And they haven't been good all season at all. But getting into this next upcoming week, Chris, we got some really good matchups. You got the Lions at the Chiefs Sunday night. You got the Bills trying to pick themselves up off the mat on Monday night against the Falcons. Bears, Commanders, doubleheader on Monday night. I don't know why they do these doubleheaders on Monday night. It's kind of interesting, but
I hate it.
I mean, as long as the games are good, I don't really mind it. I mean, we got some good matchups. You got Broncos Jets, even though the Jets are winless. I think that's actually a pretty good matchup. Uh, and then Thursday night, you got Eagles Giants. Giants might be a tough out for Philly. Probably not. Spreads at 6.5, now up to 7.5. I don't know, Chris. What matchup are you looking forward to the most in Week 6?
I want to see how. I think this is the most intriguing. Rams Ravens. I want to see how both teams who lost for very different reasons bounce back this week. What kind of professional pride do the Ravens have? That's going to be interesting. Does Lamar Jackson play? Does he not play? How does Cooper Rush look? And the Rams, who, I mean, can I be honest, Chaez? That was a well-deserved loss by the Rams on Thursday.
Well-deserved.
Last Thursday. They deserved that loss. Well-deserved. There's no excuse to get punched in the mouth like that by a backup quarterback on your home field. 14-0 on your home field, and you had nothing going offensively. And by the way, shout out to Kyle Shanahan and Mac Jones for getting that team, that offense organized and prepared for that game. And the one thing, this may be one of Kyle Shanahan's best coaching jobs right now. And Mac Jones is looking like a better option than Purdy. But still, with all of that, Rams still were in a position to win that game. They had another issue with the field goals, another issue with Kyron Williams fumbles. So, yeah, they deserve to lose that game. We'll see how they bounce back, and we'll see how the Ravens look with or without Lamar Jackson, and if they put up a better fight against a Rams team looking to also bounce back from another tough loss. But this is 2 games the Rams have given away now this season, and they're beating themselves more than the opposition is. For the Ravens, if they don't win this week, Chaez, this season's looking awfully lost, and they may end up becoming sellers at the trade deadline. So that's the game to watch.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The only thing I would add is the only criticism I have of Sean McVay is the conservative play calling that he goes into when he has a lead in the second and third quarter. That's the only criticism of him that I have. Just playing it fucking safe all the time in the second and third quarter when you should be putting your foot on the neck of your opponent to get yourself a multiple possession lead going into the fourth quarter and so on. I'd like to see the Rams win a game decisively that they're supposed to win. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. But as intriguing as that matchup is, the more intriguing matchup to me is a divisional rival of the Rams, the Seahawks, going on the road after a tough loss at home against the Tampa Bay Bucks. What does Sam Darnold do on the road in Jacksonville after Jacksonville had their best game of the season with Trevor Lawrence falling on the 3-yard line, getting up and rushing it in with 20 seconds left on Monday Night Football after that pick 6 from Lloyd as well on Patrick Mahomes? Like, are the Jags too high and they come back down? Are the Seahawks too low and they coming back up? That's the matchup I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a 10 a.m. start for the Seahawks coming from the West Coast, so the Jags might have a bit of an advantage there, even though they're on a short week playing on Monday night. Seahawks on full week rest. I'm intrigued to see what happens in that 10 a.m. matchup on Sunday morning. The other game that I'm looking at as well is the Lions-Chiefs on Sunday night, but the Seahawks and the Jags is the one that I'm picking as my most intriguing matchup this week.
Yeah, no, I just want to respond to that real quick. I think that's an intriguing matchup for this reason. Seattle's defense got picked apart by Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, if you look at Seattle, what they were doing defensively, they were to the point where everyone was saying, can they win the NFC West? Never mind the Rams, never mind the Niners. Are the Seahawks now the real deal? And what Baker Mayfield did up at CenturyLink, at least I think it's still called CenturyLink, home of the 12th man, that is not an easy place to go out there, not just to win, but to go out there and dominate offensively. I mean, the game was a shootout. Who had that game as a freaking shootout?
Yeah.
So the concern now, if you're the Seahawks, is if our defense gets picked apart like that at home, what are we going to do on the road against an offense that has also been potent? Like, it feels like Liam Cohen, the new head coach, has kind of unlocked something with Trevor Lawrence. They've obviously got Travis Hunter in there, the two-way player, but also playing as a receiver. ETN looks a lot better than he has the last couple of years. It just feels like the offense that was stuck in the mud under Doug Peterson has now gotten going under Liam Cohen. So I'm wondering, are the if the Jags are able to score on the Chiefs and then they follow it up this week on a short week and they put that on a good Seahawks team, I think we got to start looking at Jacksonville and saying this team may be onto something here. May not be an AFC champion or anything like that, but certainly are building something that can at least get them into the playoffs and perhaps even a playoff win. So,
well,
I like that. I like that game right there. That'll be interesting.
I'm going to tip my pitch as well because I have Seattle in my picks as an underdog on the road. I think that they're going to win that game. Take the Seattle spread +1. Another game, Chicago Bears on the road. You're getting 4.5, pretty much 5 points on the road against the Commanders, who are coming off their best win of the season after getting Jaden Daniels back and putting up 27 unanswered points on the Chargers, who everybody crowned after the first 2 games the best team in the league and the new AFC West champions. I don't think so, not so fast. I think Chicago is going to have a pretty big game with Caleb Williams coming off the bye against the Washington Commanders. In Pittsburgh, the Cleveland Browns coming back from London, no bye, against Pittsburgh, who's coming off of a bye. Mike Tomlin against the spread off of a bye is something ridiculous. I can't even tell you what the number is exactly, but this started out at 4.5.
I got something to say.
It's up to 5.5. Take Pittsburgh money line spread first half. You name it. They're going to roll the Browns and Dylan Gabriel now that they've traded Joe Flacco, and we might see Shedeur Sanders not in this game, but sooner rather than later, given that Flacco is no longer on the team. And I don't really believe in Dylan Gabriel long term like that, and this will be one of those games for him.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I'll take it one step further. The fact that any of these organizations, and I'm going to throw Cincinnati in here as well, when you have to lean on a guy like Joe Flacco, who, let's be honest, he should be at home with his family, retired. He should be on a golf course. He should be traveling the world right now. He should not, no disrespect to Joe. I'm a longtime Ravens fan. I respect the hell out of his career and what he did, bringing a Super Bowl back to Baltimore and everything. No question about it. He's had a really solid career overall. But my advice to these teams, Cincinnati, learn how to develop a fucking quarterback. Zach Taylor. Oh, he's an offensive genius. He's an offensive genius. Bro, you can't even get your freaking backup to, throw a freaking pass once in a while. And to the Browns, you guys haven't been able to develop a quarterback ever. You know what I mean? So, all of these guys, these so-called geniuses, these Stefanskis and Taylors and all of these guys with all these analytics, and yet your freaking backups suck to the fact that you need a veteran whose best days have been, well behind him since the Obama administration. Let's be real. No, sorry, Joe, but that's just the fucking truth right there. Learn how to develop a freaking quarterback for a change. Learn how to do that, because what these clowns are doing right now, Zach Taylor and Stefanski and all of these coordinators, they can't do shit. You've got a million coaches on the freaking sideline, and you can't put these guys in a position to be successful, which is why you should,
I actually like Stefanski.
Tip your cap to McVay. Should tip your cap to Shanahan. Because they're actually putting these guys in a position to be successful. Baker Mayfield's career was saved by Sean McVay. Mac Jones's career is being saved by Kyle Shanahan.
I like Stefanski. He just doesn't wield all of the power to make the decisions the way that you would like him to. But let's see if Dylan Gabriel saves his ass, saves Andrew Berry's ass, saves the Browns organization's ass. And let's hope that all 3 of these picks hit so my parlay comes through as well. If you bet responsibly, because these are some good picks. And I think I'm not doing great. I'm like 3-3 on the season on picks so far. But Chris, I'm looking to go 6-3 after these 3. So wish me luck. And I wish you guys luck as well because we trying to make that extra bread on these spreads. Short show tonight because of the late Dodger game. I know we got into so much, it went by so fast, but you guys know where to follow us. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter and X at Chaez Pearson. Chris, where can they follow you at, my man?
You could always follow me on Instagram at Chris_Camelo. I'm sorry, CCamelo1 on Instagram, at Chris_Camelo on X. Be sure to follow us on the Outlet Forum on Instagram, X, and YouTube. Live shows every Wednesday night. Last week, we were not active, had a bit of a personal matter, but we're going to be back moving forward. So appreciate the time, guys. And yeah, let's see if the Dodgers pull one out tomorrow night, Chaz. Get that champagne going.
I bet they will because they'll have a couple of days off before they get ready to roll for the NLCS. And hopefully the Cubs come through. Go Cubs, go. I want home field for the Dodgers and don't want to see the Brewers who absolutely wax the Dodgers in the regular season. So that's my pick.
We'll see. Yes,
With that said, we appreciate
and congrats
you guys.
Congrats, Toronto. Congrats, Toronto.
Congrats to
Just wanted to put that out there.
Yankees lose. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us. You guys know where to get at us next week on the Outlet Forum. We'll see you guys next week, 8:50.